currently July 14th. I'm out here in the middle of the city and I'm gonna go on a run. And in the middle of this run, I'm gonna walk you through my logic because I'm gonna be launching an app tomorrow. My name is Bella Matasik and I'm building an AI startup to 100K by the end of the year. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact thought process of launching a product, what it's like, and what it takes. This morning, every single thought in the book hit. I am more scared than I've ever been, and I have backpacked in the wilderness for over 2 weeks. I have slept in igloos, okay? Terrified, because I've spent over 4 months of development on this app. Not where I want it to be, it's not perfect. I'm at this point where I made a bet on myself that if I don't launch this app in time, I shave my head. You know, for the past week and a half, you'll have moments where you will be totally fine and completely oblivious to the fact that you're actually launching an app and you're just doing your thing and you're working. But you'll also hit points within it of where you'll be like, wow, this is a lot. Because what nobody tells you is when you get into this, especially with entrepreneurship, is that you're responsible for the entire build and design of the app. You're responsible for basically over 12 jobs in building it out: design, UI, backend, deployments, testing, I mean, everything in the book. But then there's an additional component of how exactly are you gonna market this thing? How are you gonna sell this thing? How are you going to get user testing? And then you're going to have to convince yourself over and over and over again, this product is worth it. This product is worth my time, my energy, and my focus. I chose the route of not going service-based. Previously, I had a business before this that was an agency, and I had it for about a year with a partner. So what we did is we would design apps, websites, copywriting, I would do email layouts, social media campaigns. And I did that for about a year after I quit my tech job. Well, what I learned in that role is I am not necessarily the biggest fan of providing services. I always found that I had a drive to create my own products because I knew at the end of the day that once you get yourself into an agency, you're having to build yourself into a 9-to-5 and then again build yourself out of it to build a product that is infinitely multipliable to millions of people. So I decided that I'm going to take the financial risk of not going the service-based route and then going all in on building out this app and selling it and marketing it. Well, what happened is in the process of building this out, I actually had a completely different startup idea that I was focused on for 6-7 months, and I went to med spas, I pitched med spas, I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. And I talked to a friend of mine, he knows what he's doing. Shout out to, if you see this, thank you for changing my life. He was like, listen, look at your time, let's talk about this idea. He's like, it's not gonna work. So at that point I was like, well, what am I gonna do? I was stubborn and I was like, no, I'm gonna keep working on this. So I looked up on YouTube, I saw this one video of this guy who was vibe coding. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of vibe coding, but you think of vibe coding, you're like, okay, well, someone's just vibing out, listening to music, coding, like this is what's happening, right? No, completely wrong. Someone vibe coding is someone who's no clue what they're doing coding and who's using just ChatGPT, GitHub, and figuring it out. And I was like, whoa, this is a thing. People were deploying apps, and I saw this guy who set a challenge of deploying an app out in a day. There's no way, in my experience, I've seen app development take months. I don't think that's possible. So in the middle of me launching this entire startup, I said, okay, let me just go and take a day and build out this app idea that I had. Process of doing that, I realized how crappy Bolt and Lovable were for a complex design. At that point, I was locked in. I was like, develop this thing. I'm not the type of person to get halfway and not finish it, especially because this product was for something for me and I knew there was an actual need in the market. I worked on it for 3 weeks and I got it to a point where I was somewhat satisfied with it, but we all know the amount of time you think a product is gonna get done, multiply that by 10x, right? So 3 weeks turned into 3 months. And at that point, I released the product, I let it out to a group of 10 people, And I got a text in the middle of the night that was like, hey, I can't use your product, it doesn't work. Hours and hours, I mean, we're talking probably at least 200 to 300 hours worth of development time put into it. I was like, it doesn't work. At that point, I took back the product. Let me bet this app on my hair. Stupidly, I did that and it got traction, and people were invested in the fact of, if you do this, you're gonna shave your head. I've been asked the question multiple times, would you do it if this app does not launch? Absolutely, absolutely. I gave my word on that. Now I am scared out of my mind because tomorrow we launch this app. Number one is make sure you know what you're doing, especially if you're in development, and especially if you hire on Upwork. I hired on Upwork a guy just to design a auth login flow, which I did previously for another app of mine. And the guy charged me 24 hours and then said, I knew the task would take 5 to 6 hours. He charged me 24 hours, which was ridiculous. So now I'm at this point where I woke up early. We're gonna be launching this thing tomorrow. And I am scared out of my mind. I'm scared because I put over 4 or 5 months of development time into this thing. I'm scared because what if people hate it? And I genuinely do believe that this product is going to help a lot of people. I genuinely do believe that this is something that people will use and will help them in their fitness journey, help them in their personal life, especially with the fact of how hard it is to understand the nutritional side of fitness. Like you can get fitness plans anywhere, but you can't get something that's personalized to you. And that's the whole vision of this product. That's where we're going. And that's where it's gonna build into, because it's something I needed and I wanted. But I am scared. And tomorrow is the big day, it's the launch. And I have over 18 plus people signed up already. Most of all, what scares me is I have people counting on me, because it's no longer just me in the question, it's other people counting on me. It's people that I have partially employed. It's people that I've connected with, networked with, that are also putting their brand on the line for me. And that's really scary, because in the back of your mind, you're always gonna think like, what if I fail? The side of this nobody talks about and no one's gonna tell you about. But if I was to give you some core lessons of what it's like and what I would actually do again and redo, is if you're gonna design something like this, especially in the AI age, understanding your burn down rate. How much money are you gonna spend in the process of creating this thing? Because I spent well over $2,000 something on this, and that's just out of my own pocket. None of it I've spent, got investment, VC funding, nothing. 2 is protect your time. Your time is gonna be incredibly valuable. You're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of things. That's something I'm willing to do, but it's just a matter of how bad you want it. 3, sacrifice your ego. You're gonna think you're good, but then you're gonna realize you're actually not. That's okay. That means there's room for development, and you're going to have to practice and learn every single day. If I could give you one thing that truthfully drives you through all of this, is if you don't have it yet, create a mission so big and so powerful that drives you to keep going, because you're legitimately gonna hit moments where it's really, really hard, and you're gonna be alone, and you're gonna cry, and you're gonna be like, why am I doing this? Just have a why and a reason why to keep going, and it's gonna make all the difference.